Welcome back to the NoDaysOff Living podcast. Today we're talking about something that is changing the future of our communities for better or for worse. Black fatherhood. As you know, today is Father's Day, so celebrate fathers all around. Black, white, doesn't matter the race. But we want to get specific today. Too many of our children are growing up without guidance, protection, structure, and economic leadership. And we're seeing the consequences everywhere. In school, mental health, and financial instability, and community violence. Now, this is not about sharing or shaming black men and information. This is about telling the truth because I'm a black man, reclaiming our position and deciding what happens next because we have to have a no days off mentality. So let's start here. Fathers matter. All fathers matter. Not just as a nice to have, but as a foundation. When a father is present, consistent and engaged, it changes the whole atmosphere of a child's life. As you know, it's a village to raise a child, so both parents are equal. Children feel safer with a father. They have someone to model their emotions after. They see what discipline looks like, what boundaries look like, what hard work really is, that no days off grind. Economically, a strong father is often the first institution a child ever knows. He shows what it means to wake up every day with purpose, to provide, to save, to invest, to think long term. Even if he doesn't have a lot of money, his mindset, and I always emphasize this, the mindset is more important than the dollars. And they can shape how our children sees money, work, responsibility, and the whole outlook on life. And me having 4 kids, 3 daughters, 1 son, it's imperative that I mold them in the right way. But we can't talk about this without being honest about the challenges black men face in modern society. It's critical. Many of us grew up without a father ourselves, including myself. Just because you didn't grow up with one, that doesn't mean you could be a bad one. So we're thrown into manhood with no blueprint, no emotional tools, and no financial game plan. This is one aspect where we're not taught things. It's sink or swim. Now we're dealing with systems that over-police us, under-hire us, underpay us, blame us for results, the court system's against us. We're dealing with trauma from depression, anxiety, and it's often in silence because, a black man doesn't like to share his emotions because they get attacked. Now, we're told to man up, but we're never told what healthy manhood looks like, right? Now, that pressure leads to some brothers causing them to shut down, to disconnect, to run away from the weight instead of growing into it. It's like, let me just go hide. Let me go disappear. And we got to stop that. And when that happens, our families feel it. Our women feel it. Our children feel it most. And our communities feel it long term. So the question is, the $1 million question, how do we rebuild? How do families become strong and stable again? Even if the father and the mother aren't together, still have to have some synergy. Now it starts with presence. Not perfection, presence, because nobody's perfect. Now, show for your kids even when you're tired. That's the no days off mindset. Calling them, checking homework, going to games and recitals, asking how they're doing. Really, peel back and ask them real questions about their life. Being emotionally available, not just physically in the room. That matters. Now next, we need structure. Everything requires structure to be successful. Now children thrive when the expectations are clear. Bedtime, chores, respect, consequences, discipline. Not out of harshness, but out of love. You could still be firm, but be loving. Now structure says, I care too much about your future to let you live without boundaries. Then there's leadership, discipline, and protection. Now leadership is not barking orders and leading with an iron fist. No. It's going first. For example, if you want your child to read, let them see you reading. Live by examples. If you want your child to pray, to work out, to budget, to eat better, let them see you doing it. Leadership is saying, follow me, and then living in a way worth following. So you have to be that example, that beacon of light. Now, discipline is doing what needs to be done, right? even when you don't feel like it. We all been there. Getting up for work, controlling your emotions, doing those extra things, those tasks in your house. Walking away from foolishness is important. That discipline in the father becomes a quiet teacher in the home. Protection is more than physical. It's mental, it's emotional. Yes, a father should protect his family from any harm, but he also protects their minds. He pays attention to who they're hanging around, what they're watching, what they're absorbing as children, because especially online, kids are like sponges, and what you soak up, good or bad, will affect you. Now, he protects your peace by bringing stability, not chaos. And sometimes, as a father, even myself, we say things that may be difficult, but they must be said. Or you don't feel right as a father. Now let's talk about solutions, because every problem has a solution. Because this just can't be a problem conversation. No Days Off isn't about that. Number one, my brothers, invest in yourself. Therapy, mentoring, men's groups, books, podcasts, just dialogue, whatever it takes to heal and grow. You can't pour into a family from an empty cup. Healing is not weakness, it's preparation. Now, number two, build community among men, like men. We need circles where black men hold each other accountable, share resources. Gotta share resources and be resourceful. Teach others about money management, marriage, parenting, purpose. Iron sharpens iron, right? But you have to get around some iron. Can't be around dull wood. Number three, we're going to strengthen the family unit. Now, for those in relationships, work on partnership, communication, unity with the mother of your children. For those not together, still fight to co-parent with respect and being positive. Your child should never be the battlefield or the pawn in the chessboard. Number four, we want to model no days off in your character, right? It's bigger than clothing. This is just the S on the chest to keep you going. But no days off in your character, not just about your grind. No days off from loving your kids. No days off from being honest. No days off from leading by example. That's why I wear this. That's why the world embraces this. No days off from being present 24/7. Even when life is heavy, you still gotta show up. And to our women, black women, white women, Asian women, Indian women, all races of women, our mothers, our sisters, many of you have carried entire families on your backs, right? This conversation is not to erase you, but to support you. The goal is not either or, it's both and. Remember, it's not either or, it's both and. Strong fathers and strong mothers working together, raising strong children. And it takes a village to raise a child. So if you're listening to this and you're a black father or a future father, hear me. You are an institution. You are a thermostat, not just a temperature reader. You don't just react to the environment, set the environment. Our children are watching, trust me. Mine just called me this morning. Feels so great. Our communities are waiting. The next generation is depending on what we decide to do today. Today. Now, this is No Days Off Living. And when it comes to fatherhood, we don't clock out ever. Even when we don't see our kids, we're still in our kids' lives. Now, thanks for listening. If this spoke to you, share it with a brother, share it with someone who needs to hear some encouragement. And let's keep this conversation going. You're not alone. So if you got some questions, you can reach out to me. I'm here to support. Remember, no days off. Live it, wear it.